Tutto bene. Yeah, sì, partenza.
Mike. Mike. C'è qualcuno che manda le collegate?
Ok.
Okay. Good day, everybody. It's nice to see you again during our nice project that is joining us to land here. And I think we know each other. Just having introduced the president of the International Canoe Federation, Mr. Thomas Konietzko, who is going to join us in this occasion and occasion of the organization of the World Canoe Marathon Championships is in Metkovic. I'd like to welcome you and to feel good here. Unfortunately, this time when Europe is flooded, we have to be happy that we have even this kind of weather and that we will not have rain during these few days. So I will invite Mr. Thomas Konietzko to say a few words to you, and then we continue with the working part of the conference.
Thank you very much.
Sorry for my voice, I'm going through. I'm not very clear, but nevertheless, it's an honor, a pleasure for me to be here and to show gratitude as ICF's recognition for work you have done and you will have to do in the future with this important back project. Not with purpose, sustainability, but protecting of our environment is on top of our priorities and our strategic plan as ICF. And on behalf of the whole water sport family around the world, is that is a good reason, because we as paddlers know sometimes first how it feels, impact of change of environment, climate change. We are fighting sports, we are fighting with floods, and so we have to do things to help to improve environment and to make our competitions more environmental friendly. And that's why we are very grateful that Italian Canoe Federation is partners with advanced studies, Sant'Anna School in Pisa, and sport impact of sports and spa, and of course with the Greece Federation, with Slovenian Integration Federation, took over here leadership, and I'm happy that also ICF can play a small part in this project. And not without reasons, this project was nominated and finally is the last round of IOC Sustainability Awards presentation. And that shows that you and we are all together on the right way with this project. And I hope that the results of this project will be a role model for all our federations, that all our federations can learn from this project in the future to organize competition, organize daily training, still more efficient, and to help with this project to protect also our environment in the future.
Thank you. Okay, so we can move to the core of our midterm conference. Thank you, Branko, and thank you, Thomas. And it's a pleasure to be here speaking about sport and sustainability. So this project is a very important project for our Kayak and canoe family, and so the name that project means development environmental circular knowledge. So with this focus, we are trying to promote a sort of cultural change in this environmental field. So let's move to a general overview of this project, and then I will give the floor to Tiberio, and he will show us the main general results. So just to remind that the DEC partners, DEC project have 7 partners and involve 5 different countries in Europe. And we have 4 different federations in Italy, Croatia, Slovenia, and Greece, Sport and Salute, thank you to be here, and Sant'Anna, School of Sant'Anna, Pisa. And it started in 2023 and it will end in 2025. So we are in the middle of our path. And just to have a general look to the general structure of this project. So we have a timeline that is divided in three main periods. So now we are in the middle. So we had a general first part of introduction studies where we performed a needs analysis and we developed a sustainability rating tool and guidelines. So in this first part that we have already done, we have the first results. So that's why we are this short list, and so we are very proud to be in this short list. I don't know if we win the medal, but so it is very important for the general Kayak family. So yes. And so we are in the second part. So we are implementing our first results. So later today we will show us the sustainability rating tool, the study that we have done. And we are testing this result and we are developing this first result. So in order to close our project with the third part of consolidation and dissemination, where Sport Sport with the Sport and Salute is very bold, and the project will end in the World Championship of Milan 2025. Where we will have also the general closure of the project. So just to remind that, and I invite you also for the next year, for the next conference, in order to see the real result and the real action that we put in action. So as a structure, our project has five work packages. The fourth one is in relation to project management and coordination. The core of the project is in the work packages 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we are in the pilot testing and environmental kayak, canoe and kayak info. So we are trying to develop what our results show in the first part. And for the as a first results, so let's move to the next. Okay, so our project has 4. We can say that our project has 4 main general focus. So first of all, of course, is to mitigate the impact. So the main focus of our project is to mitigate the environmental impacts of sports events. So this is the focus, the general focus of the project. Then we want to promote circular economy, promote sectoral transition towards circular economy and mitigation of greenhouse emission. And maybe the most important part is to design environmental environments and promote this sort of cultural change that we need to have real results. So our actions we hope to have this kind of change for the future. Next slide, please. And so, four main general focus, and we move on the specific forms. So, we spend the first year, the first part of the project, evaluating and collecting data. So, thanks to the Sant'Anna, School of Sant'Anna of Pisa, we had the possibility to face this kind of topic in a scientific way. So we had data and we were evaluating, and we have a sort of control and very specific accountability of this data. Now we are implementing and developing. So one of the most important results, for sure, is the developing of sustainability-related tool. This tool is the first tool that we can share with our partners, but also with other sports. I say that this tool potentially can be shared also to other sports and to other organizations, from international federation to very open clubs. So it's something that needs to be developed and improved, but we are sure that for the end of the project, with the World Championship in 2025 in Milan, we will have a very good and useful tool in order to give to each organization a sort of way to evaluate their sustainability in environmental performance. And another important part is the education and the valorization of the future. And in the next slide, you can see just a few words for the results. So we closed the work packages too, and as I told you before, we had the first part of assessing the state of the art. So a very important part of this project was dedicated to study and to research about what we had already done, because there are a lot of actions, a lot of best practices that we selected and collected. And so, thanks to this study, we devised the guidelines environmental sustainability in Kayak and canoe. We performed several audits, 12 audits. In the next slide, we can tell you exactly the number, and we approached this study through NCA, life cycle assessment method. And the next, the main result is, as I told you before, is the writing tools, and okay, here we are, and these are our first deliverables. So our results are basically published in our website, and we have three deliverables and in relation to our results. And deliverable 2.1 is the report on environmental assessment. Deliverable 2.2 is the guidelines for environmental management. And the deliverable 2.3 is the sustainability rating tool. You can find all these documents online, so everything is published.
Under the section reports.
Under the section reports, later we can show you also the website, and so you can, where you can find where you can find the data. And so the deliverable 2.1 is can you do that? Sorry. The deliverable for 2.1 is in relation to the audits that we perform, and are 12 environmental on-site visits with related report, 18 environmental governance interview and related results, and 4 LCA's analysis. Later we are going to speak about, we will have a discussion about these results. And this is the next one, okay. And the deliverable 2.2 is related to the guideline creation, so you can find several suggestions and action that we can put that you can put in practice and you can use as you want. I can say it's for each kind of events. So large events like a World Championship, but also they are very useful also for local events, for local clubs. So each national federation could use it in many different ways. And the third one is the deliverable 2.3, that is the sustainability rating tool. So this is very easy to use and is very useful in order to have a general idea about our sustainability performance. So how we are in organizing our events, and the important part of this tool is that we can have a general overview on our organization, and we can highlight also our hotspot and understand where we have to improve our action. And work package 3, that is the work package that we are performing right now, is in relation to implementation of basically of best practice, governance and operational best practice, and implementation of our sustainability. So I give the floor to Tiberio. This was a general overview, and I hope at the end of this afternoon we can start a discussion also with the online that is connected. And because it is very important, it's really important to share these experiences that are, it's not easy to go through sustainability topics in a sport like Kayak, where we have a very strong connection with nature, and we need to preserve our environment because we have good water, we have a good place where to play kayak and so on. And it is very important also to give this message to future generations. So, Tiberio, please, if you move.
So, hello to everyone. Well, also from my side, this Midterm Conference. My name is Tiberio Daddi. I am Associate Professor at Scuola Superiore Sant'Anna. Together with Matteo, we are here representing the university, so the scientific partner, let's say, of that project. Sant'Anna is a public university located in Pisa, as mentioned by Anna, and there we have a group that works on sport and sustainability, so this is the reason because we are part of this group with our sport organization. So according to what Anna has told you, from a methodological perspective, we can resume, let's say, the project in 4 main phases. One assessment phase, one best practice collection phase, one planning phase, and one implementation phase. Today, my presentation, I'm here to present it to you and to go a little bit more in depth to what has been done by Anna regarding the results of this phase, especially the first part of the phase, because in this moment we are here, let's say, in between the planning and implementation phase. And so we will see some example of the assessment phase. So as you can see, we have included in the assessment phase 4 different assessments, one governance assessment, one operational assessment, and one impact assessment and the sustainability rating tool, because however, generally speaking, if you are an organization that want to target and want to be committed on sustainability, you have to understand what are your, let's say, topics from where you start, and through the assessment you can understand, let's say, your priorities. And at the same time, you can, through this assessment, establish a baseline to then to compare in 1 year or 2 years to what you have done in order to understand if the initial situation, initial assessment, initial state of the art has been improved. So starting from the governance assessment, what we mean with governance? With governance, we mean the need to evaluate the state of the art in terms of management and in terms of governance in the participating sport organization, in the 4 canoe national federations. So, as Anna has mentioned, we have started to interview the managers, also other people inside, like consultants inside the canoe federation, in order to understand what was the state of the art, the topics that you find on the slide. So, in terms of role and responsibilities, in terms of training, in terms of big procurement, in terms of all the topics that are part of the daily management in a certain organization. So we have to take this as important because the approach of the project is not only on operational aspects, so how you manage waste or how you manage energy during the events, but also like on the governance section. So how in your organization you manage the topics of the management. So what we have done is in some months interview the manager that you can see here. We have interviewed director, we have interviewed so the top management, communication management, we have interviewed coaches and so on in order to investigate the level of governance. At the end of this analysis, we have drafted a report that you can find in our website, where we have a list, we have identified some recommendations that the 4 canoe federations could implement in order to improve their environmental governance, environmental management in the organization. Here you can find these 5 recommendations. So include environmental consideration in the mission, in the vision, in the values of our organization, or define environmental management responsibilities. Here we have Anna, that is the sustainability manager of the Italian Canoe Federation. We have other canoe federation that has a representative of the people that follow sustainability in the federation. So somehow clearly it's important if you want to push sustainability to identify a manager, a responsibility or the right role. Or the training, or we have discussed about how they collaborate with sponsor and business partner, or how they work on stakeholder engagement and external communication. And in the frame of the report, we have really detailed all these 5 recommendations, providing suggestions on how they can approach on these different actions. Also because, as you can see in the beginning of the slide, in the implementation phase, then the federation in these months until the end of the project, they will be called to implement action also in the environmental management perspective in the governance. A second kind of analysis is the analysis of the environmental impact of the event. So naturally, we have not analyzed the governance level, but also the environmental impact of the event. For doing that, here you can see what I'm referring to. We have done not only to 1, but to 5 different events. This is, I think, one of the most innovative results of the project, because life cycle assessment is an instrument that is particularly technically and scientifically grounded to assess the impact not only of a sport event but also products or manufacturing process and so on. And before this experience, only one time the life cycle assessment was applied in a multi-day sport event. It was a case of an athletics event in a life cycle assessment carried out by the World Athletics, the International Federation of Athletics. Okay, what is life cycle assessment? Very shortly, life cycle assessment is a method based on ISO standard. So we have some rules to carry out this kind of studies, and is a method that allows you to calculate in a life cycle perspective the impact. So, for example, what means calculate the environmental impact in a life cycle perspective? For example, if you consume one bottle of water, of plastic, let's say, during the event, you consider in the impact that you calculate not only the 500, the 1 liter of water that you use, but also the impact to produce the bottle of plastic, the impact for logistics to bring the bottle of plastic from the producer to the event, and the impact to recycle or to send to landfill, not naturally the plastic after the use. So you calculate and you consider the environmental impact under the whole lifestyle. So let's say is an important method that is a very comprehensive method to calculate the environmental impact. Another positive aspect of this method is the fact that consider 16 different environmental impacts. Probably you have heard about carbon footprint. Let's say the carbon footprint is the minor sister of the environmental footprint, because carbon footprint considers only one impact, the impact of climate change. On the contrary, environmental footprint considers the carbon footprint among the impact, among the footprint, in addition to other 15 different environmental impacts. So it's more complete. Allow the organization to calculate the environmental impact from a more comprehensive and complete way. So let's see the results of the application of this method. Let's say the results of the application of the environmental footprint on the canoe and kayak event. I was saying we have applied it in 4+1, let's say event. So 2 from Slovenia, 1 from Italy, 1 from Russia, 1 from Greece. Actually, at the beginning we planned to have 4 life cycle assessments, but then the Slovenian Federation asked us to do an additional one, the ICAT 2024 event, because it was one of the governance action that they have planned to do. So we have been more than happy to calculate this impact. So going to the results of the application, let's see what emerged from these studies. First of all, the events were quite similar, let's say, apart one, because similar in terms of time frame, the number of the days, but also in terms of number of athletes and supporters. Sometimes it ranges. You can see here how the Italian event had the higher number of athletes, almost 1,600, higher supporters, but supporters similar to 8,000, and so on. Naturally, this number then has influenced the results, because as you can understand, one of the impacts that we have calculated is the mobility of athletes and staff. So we have considered different topics. We have started a wide collection of data regarding all of these topics that you can see here. So we have collected data regarding temporary infrastructure. We have collected data about utilities, so energy consumption, water consumption in the event, food and beverage, packaging, equipment and clothing, also merchandising and material that has been produced, promotional material, waste, mobility, and also accommodation, considering the accommodation needs especially for athletes. As we have seen, we can have also more than 1,000 athletes. So we have considered transport for supporters, for athletes, for example, in the distance between the hotel and the venue, if the venue was not, let's say, in a walking distance. So again, thank you to the Sport Federation for helping us in collecting this data and helping us in get all this information in order to apply the lifestyle assessment and to do the calculation that we have done. So let's see the results. The results, as I was saying, are resumed in this table. Here on the left, you can see the 16 different environmental impact categories, where the first one is the carbon footprint, because it's the impact on climate change, and the other, here you can see also other impact categories. For example, water use is the water footprint, or the ozone depletion, or the human toxicity or the eutrophication caused by the data that we have collected related to the event, and refer to the four events. Actually, as we said, there were 5, but we have avoided to include here in this table the recreational event from Slovenia because it was related only to one day, and so let's say the impact were somehow different because they would have so usual, for example, impact from accommodation and so on. However, starting from this slide, we can do some consideration. First, we can try to calculate an average coming from these 4 calculations. So the average results, so somehow we can say data that are not representative but are good data because they are given by 4 different studies, say that one canoe event could have around 200,000 of kilograms of CO2 equivalent, plus other impacts. Clearly, I'm fully sure that it's hard to understand. You can tell me, depending on what means 206,000 kilograms of CO2, it's a big impact in terms of climate change, in terms of carbon footprint, or it is a low impact. How I can interpret this data? You can interpret this data, try to do some equivalence. So in the next slide, for example, we can see, and we can try to translate this data in, let's say, real data or do some comparison. So, according to the results, the 200,000 of kilograms CO2 equivalent are equal to 1,900,000 of kilometers done with an average car. It means 158 times the street distance between Rome and Hong Kong. So, before I was saying, is it relevant, this data? Yeah, I would say yes, according to this equivalence. Or, for example, considering the CO2 absorbed by trees is given like, if I'm not wrong, 350,000 meters square. So it's about the absorption of 1 hectare of forest in 1 year. Okay, an additional consideration, we were saying, environmental footprint include 16 different environmental impacts. Here we have changed the unit of measure. We have bring 1 unit of measure, so we can observe how, in terms of impact of the different environmental impact, carbon footprint accounts is the most important impact, but accounts for around 50% of the total impact, because the other 70% is distributed in the other environmental footprint. What it means is, it means that, okay, it's good to carry out carbon footprint in the event, but it's better to carry out environmental footprint, because if you carry out only carbon footprint, you lost 70% of the rest of the impact, because you focus only on climate change, on carbon footprint. But let's go a little bit more in depth on these results. So this environmental impact from what activity are caused. First cause is mobility. Mobility of athletes, mobility of support, mobility of staff. Second, quite surprisingly, accommodation. So accommodation accounts quite a lot. So 1,500 athletes. I don't know how many athletes there is in this event here in Metkovic, but clearly they will stay day for day, 5 days in the hotel, and stay in the hotel, they consume water, energy, food, and so on, and so contributed to this impact. The third class was equipment and clothing. So going again more in depth, using one of these life cycle assessment, again are similar. The previous one was the results referred to the average. Here is the referred to the one of the 4 or 5 events that we have considered. And again, mobility and accommodation are the most important, together with equipment transport. Also the transport of canoeing and kayak from the countries of origin to the vendor. Then in this slide you can see, okay, mobility, but what is important in terms of mobility? 32% are the flights. So athletes that come from all over the world to compete in the competition. And naturally on this you cannot, let's say, reduce so much, because you get naturally athletes from New Zealand or from Germany coming in Russia for competition. But also cars, or flight medium distance, or bus, and so on. Clearly, cars, probably you can do something, you can try to improve this 28%. Then, in the next slides, you can see in some seconds, okay, avoiding and deleting mobility, because, okay, mobility probably is an impact that is not easy to be reduced, because people need athletes here for the competition. So if I delete mobility, where your, let's say, management influence can be considered low, what are the main impacts? The impact coming from accommodation. In this case, the accommodation passed from 28 to 57%. So according to these results, the message is, please work on the topic of accommodation in addition to mobility, because these are the main impact coming from the event, together also with the equipment transport. So we have discussed, for example, with some of you about some initiative of sharing some venues. But we know that you have some competitions, some disciplines that all athletes must have the same that they on canoe and so on. Third, the last assessment, let's go a little bit more in depth regarding the sustainability rating tool that has been already explained by Anna, but let's see an example of application of this tool. Compared to the environmental footprint here in this tool is easier to apply, because the environmental footprint you need a software, you need to know the standard and so on. So it's a tool that can be applied easily by different federations to different venues and to different events. Okay, we can go on. This has been already mentioned by Anna. So the sustainability rating tool, what is it? It is a sort of checklist, let's say. It is a sort of list of questions regarding sustainability of the canoe event divided for these 9 dimensions: accommodation, material equipment, food and beverage, mobility, waste, resource efficiency, biodiversity, communication, reporting, legacy, and governance. And for each of these dimensions, we have include different assessment criteria. So different questions with close answer. Here we have an example on what are these dimensions. For example, biodiversity. Probably you can read, I can read that for you. Biodiversity, we have included some questions are practices and solutions to prevent the spread of invasive species adopted in the event? And so we have included some questions regarding biodiversity. So invasive species means species that can be brought in the red here because are part of flora or part of the canoe, because the canoe has been used in Costa Rica 1 week ago, and so these invasive species can impact in terms of biodiversity that live here. So here there are sort of question with a close answer, and according to this answer, we give some points in terms of what has been done and what has been not done. The same for food and beverage, and then accommodation, and then resource efficiency, and so on. So the different dimensions we have assessed according to the different questions that I explained before. One of the first time that we have applied this tool, only 4 federations are applying the tool in different events. One of the first applications has been carried out by the Italian Federation. Here in this event, with water canoe World Cup 2024 in Mezzana, in Trentino, in Italy region, and the results that emerge, so it's an opportunity also to explain you how the tool gives back the results after this assessment. So the final sustainability score is like you can see here, you have a tachymeter where the results can range from 0 to 100, where naturally 100 is impossible to have because, I mean, you will need to answer to all the questions, all the 73 questions, the highest score. Here, if you are in a situation of yellow, so a little bit lower than the 50% as a complete, as a final, let's say, assessment, a final score of that event, and in addition, the tool allows you also to explain why you are at this position. So, what are the different dimensions that has contributed to these results? So, for example, the event of Mezzana, according to the results, they were very good in food and beverage. You can see on the right, they obtain a score of 100% in food and beverage, but they were not so good in accommodation because they obtained 0%, or they were quite good in waste management, but not so good in governance because they obtained only 7%. So clearly, having this kind of results, you identify what are the topics on what you can improve, you can work better in the next weeks. Finally, to conclude my presentation, we have not only do assessment, we have not only raised problems or priorities to targets, but we have tried also to find and to suggest some solution for the 4 federations, but also for in the future for all the canoe federations that want to use these results. So we have drafted a database and guidelines on best practice. You can find this database and these guidelines on our website. You can find 52 environmental different practices described that you can adopt and apply in your event. These 52 have been emerged after the selection of an initial number that was higher than 103 identified in the day. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Tiberio. You have said many things. And bravo. It's so good. Okay, good to know you, good to meet you, good to greet the people who are connected online. Many people from the Italian office also, because we are also working on sustainability with our webinar and seminar. I am Teresa Pinelli, I am the head of the School of Sport and one of the partners of the project, successful project, I would say, for those who are meeting us for the first time. And as you can see, as Mrs. McLeary was mentioning before, and also the president of the International Confederation, this project is going to be is shortlisted for a very prestigious prize, and by this week we will know if we have reached the top or anyway we are in the shortlist, so we are very happy. As you can see, a big team has been put in this project from different countries, and I would like to mention them all because no one has introduced our partners. I will introduce them now because we go through question and answer session concerning the life cycle assessment and reports about events which have been started by and examined by Sant'Anna with the methodology to assess the overall environmental burden associated to these events. First of all, our partners are here from Greece, from Croatia, from Slovenia, from Italy. This is a very Italian top table, but I assure you that we are an international project, and I would like to, of course, you already know Anna Marinini and Ilaria Spagnolo. She's followed the project in communication also, and from the Italian National Federation, together with the Secretary General Pamela Venditti. And my team is connected, ciao everybody, and Gianluca Rodà is in charge of communication, and Sandro Bergion is our IT manager, so he's the one who made the sustainability rating tool and the Tachymeter you just saw before. And we are working also on the deliverable on the website, so we built up the website. And I thank you, I thank them all, and Manuel Ciuffetti for the administration. I thank them all because we made a great team, and we could ask the demanding questions from our partners, especially on the deliverables and on putting on the good, not just graphic side on the website. So it's been a good experience. We are in charge of communication and dissemination of the results. And as Anna and Tiberio were mentioning before, you can see the results on our website, which is thatproject.eu. And to all those who are connected, obviously they have subscribed to our newsletter, but please spread the words to your partners, especially all those who are involved into sustainable events, and many people know, because you cannot think of organizing today an event without considering sustainability as the first need for the event. We have our partners here from Greece, and I greet Georgia Griva, and I thank her also because we had a great meeting in Athens with under the organization, and we have partners also from Slovenia, and we have Andrej Jelenc and Jakub Mazulic, sorry for the pronunciation, Jakub Mazulic, and we have also our hosts today from Croatia, and she's not up there, there you are. And Ivana Sutov and Branko Lovic, and thanks very much for hosting us today and for making this midterm conference possible. I know it's been a great effort for you, and thanks from all of us for making it possible. Now I don't know where to start from actually, because I have the Hellenic Canoe Federation first. I don't know if Georgia has the courage to come down here at the top table. Thank you, and applause to Georgia. And yeah. Okay, all of you. So Jakob and Ivana, yes. And I won't go into details because I think Tiberio told you a lot about the methodology used to assess the environmental burden of the events, and the voices which were taken into consideration were already described by Tiberio. So I will go directly into the event, and maybe I could ask, I don't know if we could go proceeding one event by one, or since they are all here, maybe discuss the whole thing. But my first question is general anyway, and is to Georgia. And we can see that you want to speak about your event first of all. And my question is, you will mention your national event, and could you tell us more about the environmental footprint, and looking at the various categories of lifestyle stages, which Tiberio was mentioning before, and the main impact categories like mobility and accommodation, equipment, clothing, and promotional leaflets. So I give you the floor, and thank you very much, John.
Thank you, Donatella. Thank you, everybody. Let me introduce also Jan Skouridakis, who is joining us. I think the director of the parks and you wanted for us to support the tech project. Thank you, Janis, for being here. So, about our event that we test for this tool, it was the National Championship that took place in the Olympic Road Canoe Center. It's where the Olympic Games took place during 2004. And so it's a very official venue. The accommodation was one of the issues of our competition because our events, usually the participants took it by their own the accommodation place, so it was very difficult for us to have all this data. But to tell you the truth, the way that they have chosen their accommodation was the price, and the distance. These are the two main topics for them when they are choosing accommodation. Maybe this is something that may be a thought for changing to support a little bit more the clubs. For example, one issue may be introducing a shuttle bus. So we will reduce the way that they are using their mobility and their cars in order to reach the venue. So mobility is the second part that we can say for our event.
Yes, 43% against the accommodation, which was 46.
Yeah, that's why I understand it. So mobility. Usually this venue has the disadvantage to be far away from many public mass transportation. So this is why most of our competitors are choosing to come by van, by car, and also the stakeholders, that means staff, officials, everybody have to use their own means of transport. So this is something that is very difficult to change. From the part of cloth or equipment, all this stuff, the good part is that we use all this equipment because we have their storages, so we can store everything and to reduce the footprint. And also, this material that we are using, they can be recycled. Yeah, this is a good part. And I would say these 3 points, so we can say for our competition.
Okay, thank you very much, Georgia. And you answered already the percentages of the impact, and also you went through the carbon footprint mobility. My other question, and this is the general question also for other partners, is that we could see that this event was a small event, I would say. There was 158 athletes and support staff, 50 people, 43 people from general staff, and 50 supporters, right? So, do you use standard procedures for what concerns both small and big events? And if so, if not, would you tell us what are
Yes. When we're talking about the big event, we're talking about an international event.
Yes.
Okay, not national, because national numbers can change a little bit if we change the games. So if we have an international event, then the numbers are increased. So in that case, we have to have accommodation options. We have to arrange some buses. We have to arrange transportation from the airport. So this is different from the national championship because we are taking the control of many things. In that case, we can have different results. We can use some norms, let's say. We can make our own contracts with the people that we want to have a cooperation in every area. So the big events, from my point of view, an international way, can be more easily managed, let's say, in our purposes. The national championship is not so easy to be controlled. Yeah. No, I mean because of the norms. We have to follow some rules, let's say. Okay. So the national championship, we're not obliged to have accommodation contracts. For getting involved in the international event, we can do that. So it's different.
Yes, this is very interesting actually, and maybe we could go through also other countries to know if you have the same procedures or not. I don't know if you have any questions from the audience, but if not, I will leave the word to Anna Maria. Maybe Anna wants to make some comments? Yes. In relation to this question, because in Italy we saw that the final result of event organization depends on the organizing committee. So it's not in relation to local level or international level. But I think international level is everything is biggest, but also local level we have really good results. And sometimes it's better than biggest because it depends on cultural mindset of organizing. So we have a really good example in our Ivrea Canoe Club. So well, they had already organized also international World Cup and so on, but it is a very local organization, if I can say, if I can use this term, but it depends on single people, so I think that this is very easy. One last question to Georgia. Now, after your event, but also the many events organized, because the Kayak movement is very popular in Greece. After your event, a specific event, obviously, what are the actions you think that maybe you should improve?
As I said before, maybe organize a starting transportation from the hotels mayhem. And also for the decision of the clubs to choose the hotels according to different idea, and not using only to be close to the venue. So in that case, we can help to reduce also the mobility engagement, and also to give a service that can allow to have a contract, communicate with some hotels around, and to choose those that can be environmentally friendly. So this could help because we support our clubs to change their mentality.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, Georgia. Now, maybe she's busy, so Ivana, let's give the priority to Ivana because she's into the event. So, what are the numbers of your team? What are the numbers of the event taking place now?
Yeah, so can you imagine this year we have the biggest amount of entries like in last ever years in marathon world championship. So yay! Yeah, we enjoyed like we had the previous 2 days. We had a masters from 270 entries. Each of them individuals going through these races, and today we have the opening ceremony, so you're all invited to join us 5:30 behind this building. Towards the arts, you will get lost. But in general, like from the federations, and we also have a PowerPoint demonstration race for 2 days. And in total, it's more than 800 people. So with the athletes, with the following staff, and so it's been a hectic week. Yes, yes.
Very nice.
And to be honest, I'm really glad that this LCA that I did for the last year for our national championship, that I didn't do it for this world championship because so many people and each of them. So when you have more people, then you have a bad results.
Well, actually, we have big numbers also for the event you gave.
Yes,
we have big numbers for the that you gave for the SCA. So thank you very much for also going to such a big event and so look at your experience. Let's say. Tell us more about the environmental footprint and the categories, and of course, more or less what Georgia just told us.
yeah, but in general, it is similar. As I can you'll see, like the mobility was 38%. There was a lot of athletes, and it was the biggest competition that we have in national level. It takes 3 days. But we were really lucky, to be honest, when I was going through the LCA forums and when I started to follow those kind of things, and this is what that project brought to me, that I can now see all the things that we do, and I'm really satisfied with Croatian Federation with the location of that national championship because it was in the Island Lake, and over there it's a little place for camping. So we have big teams coming and camping. So we can say we had that mobility only from their coming from their homes from all around Croatia to Zagreb, to main city, and most of them camped. That's why we have this recommendation really nice percent, 23.2. And when I compare it, I will now answer all the questions for it, but this equipment and clothing, everybody is making it in their own club. We don't produce it for the national championships. We don't. So we are the ones like there is not that much money in kayaking in Croatia. So we use the boats. They get the national dresses, the club dresses. They use it again and again. We don't make it more special for the events and repeat it again and stuff like that. So in general, I would say it was pretty good event, and I was proud of my people. And when my friend was over there, my friend doesn't work really well, but he's yes, and I used something on it. Yeah, hello to you. I hope you're watching us. Yeah, I was at that moment. I was really proud because she pointed me on some of the things that, like when you compare us to other sports, we definitely need to take care of our environment because like the rivers and the lakes, it is everything that we have for this.
Actually, thanks for reminding us also about the Sant'Anna team because Tiberio is here and it's very well known, but Matteo, welcome to Matteo Semeraro and thanks a lot to Rachele Stranieri who did showing the first part of the assessment of all the reports and drafting the guidelines together, of course, with the scientific team from Sant'Anna. My other question is, you told us about the mobility actually, because I see that the percentages are very close to accommodation. We don't have a relevant percentage of this event. Why? Why are they so similar? Because you didn't have a relevant percentage on mobility, for example.
Can you just...
Its accommodation is 28, and mobility is like 32, so it's very close to accommodation. So in other events, we have mobility which raises up to 55 or 60%. So mobility was good in this event?
It was good, yeah, because like all of them, they came from their hub to main city of Zagreb, and they came from all around Croatia, and they stayed. They stayed on Lake Kayak. They were camping, and I just had a few teams in the nearest hotels. So
campings were all close to the place.
So it is on the plane. Yeah, that's what I'm proud of.
So my last question, do you think that is something to be improved actually?
This event, it is perfect, to be honest. It is as small as you can do it. And for example, in Zagreb, we don't have right here about the waste in Zagreb. We have the locals over there, and we have the infrastructure for separating the waste. So we have also better management over there. In some of the other parts of Croatia, we have that implemented in our laws, but with the infrastructure, we are a little bit slow. So all around Croatia, it doesn't follow that waste separation. In Zagreb, we had it. So that's the location that was pretty good for the entire story.
It seems so. It sounds so. Any questions from you? No? Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ivan. And then double thank you because you are a very big event at this time. So it's 4 times as much. Because it was a 270 event in athletes, and today you have more than 800. So, yeah. So all the best for your event. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. And still will be later on you.
Yes, it's here. Okay, now we'll go to Anna, and Anna does lead an introduction. We were talking about women and wonderful event actually. Let me give you my opinion because I was there. And I had an answer. And at the big event, we're talking about the numbers which are astonishing, let's say. And we had over 1,000 athletes, right? 1,051 and 350 support people and 170 general staff, and over 3,200 supporters. So it was a very huge event, a beautiful site in Caledonazzo, and very beautiful.
Yes, thank you. Yes, the Caledonazzo meeting is one of the most important events that we have in our federation. I would say the most important in terms of numbers because we have like 1,000 athletes involved. We are speaking about young categories, so you can imagine that how big is the mobility related to these events because each athlete moves like 3 parents from each athlete. So that's why we have this really huge number of supporting people. So this is an honor that we had by local authorities like leverage of the 3 days, because this is 3 days events. But sometimes local team come before, so they spend a lot of day in these localities. So mobility is related to the accommodation, of course, and so it is not different from other events. I mean, the categories are the same, and the mobility, as we saw also in the presentation, is the most important, is most relevant categories. But I need to say that maybe these huge numbers of 60, 60%, yes, related to the mobility, could be related also to the location of this venue, because this is a national event, but it is in the north part of Italy, so you can imagine Italy. We have people coming from southern part of Italy and also from Ireland, so maybe if these events would be in a more central part of Italy, this number will change. No? And in relation to the mobility, we have also a big number from accommodation, and we say that we saw before that accommodation is one of the most important part of our NCAs, like for the other events. And so maybe for our part, we should implement this part related to the accommodation, because for the mobility, so it is quite difficult to control the way the people come to the venue, or even if in Cagnazzo we have train and it is very, the train station is very close to the venue, so we should use trains and this kind of transportation. It is possible, but the local team are used to use auto and so on.
Kind of suggest,
Yeah.
because I was staying in Ledico, which is a nearby village, Cantonazzo, and of course the train works very well. So I think that it's low impact and it's very useful actually. So maybe some teams should know how to move.
Yes, so we have some example of good use of train and green transportation, because some players from Rome come from Rome by train. So in Trentino, that is the region of Italy where Cagnazzo is a very well connected region. So maybe we need more communication, and we need to improve our guideline in what we care about our call for event organization. So for sure, this would be something to improve in our guideline.
The rest is perfect. That was fun.
Yeah. Yes, it was a beautiful event, and a very good part, it was also the management, the waste management, because it was almost plastic free, not completely plastic free, but the collecting of the waste was quite perfect. And with this example, this year in Ivrea World Championship, World Cup, we had a really good example with a completely plastic-free event. So we have some good example, good spot, but we have to implement, and we have to give a sort of rules that, by my point of view, needs to come from maybe from international canoe federation source, and then the ECF needs to give the information to the national federation, and then because we need rules and we need to follow these rules.
Everybody will simply use our guidelines, I'm sure. And after with the prize, everybody will look at that as the pathway to plastic-free events, I'm sure.
The last, just the last reflection, the last of the sustainability, environmental sustainability, we have to think about it not like a cost, but like a sort of investment for the future. And because it's not always true that the sustainability is more expensive. So if we go in Cagnazzo by train, we are going to save money also for the local client and so on. So we have to work on communication with you. We're doing our best. We are definitely doing our best. So last but not least, Jacob. Thank you to Jacob and Andre, our Slovenian colleagues, and Jacob, you heard most of the conversation, so I won't go through details, but we're taking, I think, into consideration your touching event, right? And big event, over 350 between athletes and staff. Could you tell us more about the event and the percentages in accommodation, in mobility, and what should be? Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
So we had the European Slalom Championship. It is medium-sized event. It was around 300 competitors and 500 or 600 accredited people helping us work.
Sorry, I want to add one thing. 4,000 supporters.
Yes, quite a lot of people there.
From this support.
So yes, so at the beginning we decided we will try to reach 50. We found 50 practice. We will try to reach and implement them. So some of them was important one, and some of them less important. Some of them was just communication or how to motivate locals. But anyway, in this 50 practice, we found some very interesting practice. We try to push people to come to the event with bicycles or by foot. So we made some special equipment to park bikes and to walk bikes and to help people to storage bike during the events. Some of this practice was very successful. Some drove them more. So I heard one question before: can we improve something? We always have to improve something. So it's not matter that can we do? Yes, we can do. We saw that around 50% is on the mobility, another 40% is on the accommodation. So we are giving them about 10%, and in this 10%, if we can save 1% more, it's a big step for all. Some of you will say 1% is nothing, but if all of us save 1%, then this will be quite a big step for our organization and for our environment.
Thank you, Jacob, and I catch your suggestion about bicycles. I thank you first of all very much because you organized a partner meeting in Slovenia, and I was impressed by the people using bicycles, not only in the Netherlands. So maybe we should take into consideration your suggestion for the bicycles, because I think it's a very good suggestion.
Yes, thank you. But mostly it's depends on location. Some location near the big cities, people can use bicycles. Some locations in the mountains, maybe they cannot use bicycles. They can walk, but
Whenever possible. Whenever possible.
yeah.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Andrea and Jacob. And finish if there are no more questions from the audience. I thank all the partners because they had very little time to answer their questions, but they were not difficult. You know, just asking. Yeah, to the point. So, what should I do?
Coffee break.
Eh?
Coffee break and then the second panel.
Okay, coffee break, and then we go to the second panel, which will be managed by our professor. Thank you very much. Please stay connected. Thank you.
Jacob or Andrea?
Yes.
Who will be the speaker for the second part of the panel? Andrea, you go first.
Però io no, una domanda seria. Per cosa? No, beh, non puoi fare. Eh sì. Fate voi.
Siamo già messi.
Ok.
Please, grazie.
Just me and you.
Parlo? C'è un posto per
So, we start. We are ready? Okay. Hello everyone, thank you to be here again after the coffee break for this second session of the panel. We have today 4 panelists. Okay, we have Lenny from Slovenia, Anna from Italian Federation, Georgia from Greek Federation, and Donatella from the School of Sports. So, in this second panel, we will adopt a first perspective, more focus on the future of sustainability, your organization, your federation, your events, and so on. After that, with Donatella, you have discussed about, let's say, what you have done and how you have impacted, how this visual has been, and these impacts have been measured with life cycle assessment. So the first question that I would have for you, for the Chief Election and for Donatella, is we have the mic there. I will start from Magnus, if you don't mind. I'm curious to understand that, taking into account that the Olympic Games has passed since only some weeks. How is in your organization, in your opinion, the future could be, how could be the role of athletes in boosting, in stimulating sustainability in the youth, in the young generation, or towards the general public in general, and how these people, if you think that could have a role, are currently involved in doing that.
So the Olympic Games have been a very good opportunity to improve this kind of message, environmental sustainability message, also because all the Olympic medals now are environmental ambassadors. So since we won 2 medals, and one of these medals, it is a gold medal, and we have also the...
Please, the name, the Gennaro,
that came one, and so we are very proud of this gold medal, but also the silver medal of Kayak in single, and sprint kayak, and so since they are environmental ambassador, we have a really huge opportunity to use these athletes to spread this message. And the most important thing is that these athletes understand that they have a responsibility. So it is important that this nomination is not only on the paper, but now it is responsibility of federation to use this opportunity, because like Italian Federation, we did a lot in environmental sustainability, but now we have to use this way to reach the young generation, because young people are aware of this topic, and it is a very crucial moment, I believe, for this case.
How practically you involve that you define ambassador first? Defining ambassador is a term that you use in your federation, even we have already here probably also in other, so it's something that is, let's say, a common in other sport also, but how you involve? Are you bring them in the school or what
Yeah,
they
this
do?
is the question.
What they do concretely?
Yes, so because this is the real question, because now we have this nomination, but we have to find, I hope to find also with that project the right way to involve the athletes. So they are young athletes and they are well connected with the younger generation. So I guess that maybe starting from local race, local competition. So, for example, the Kilometer Day where you can so 2 weeks ago, and they had contact with a lot of young people. So, if they are aware of this role that now they have, we should have really good results also in these terms. And then this donation in governance terms need to establish the rules. So if they are Olympic medals, now they are also.
So you are in a starting phase. You identify
Yes.
them for this role. You will
Yes.
have to define
Yes,
how
well,
to involve them.
now we have, so it is a nomination coming from Olympic Games, not from the Italian Federation. So we have to use this nomination and start through
Okay.
thinking about.
Thank you, Andre. How it works in your federation?
We use athletes already in promotion of this year European canoe slalom in the European Championship dancing because few of top athletes already like a big part of the video which promote like sustainability, mobility to come into the venue so that we publish on the social media these videos with these top athletes which are inviting people using bikes, using the public transport and so on to come to the venue. And also we have a good collaboration with one of our sponsors, insurance company Tridel, which is the biggest Swedish insurance company, which took us as a promoter of the clean waters. So also the building in Soundtrack was part of the video which promote the water regulation, like using water like clever way and so on. So and we continue with this sponsorship also for the next period, and we are mostly focused on the water quality and so on. So they are not small just because that we are putting some banners on the venue and so on, but they want to collaborate with us so that we are working with the top athletes as ambassador of the clean waters.
How many athletes in this moment you have involved?
We have four top slalom athletes who were part of this action for the European Championship, but now we are just in the process to making plans for next season, so that we didn't decide yet how many of them, but for sure the plan is to use the athletes as ambassador of the game.
You select, so you go directly to the athlete asking want to be ambassador, or you do a sort of call 20 or 30 athletes?
We just make it. We just make the deal. So we talk with the top athletes, and most of them have no problems with to be part of this promotion.
Okay. Georgia, how it works in Greece?
Fortunately, we are a very small country and we don't have the achievements of the rest. So it's very difficult for us to find a person for an athlete for ambassador. But we are thinking of using, and that's why we asked for manager support. We have nowadays a coaching school that 100, almost 100 people. They are going to be the next coaches. So they will start coaching from young people because they are not so experienced like others. And we believe that the young athletes are more easy to be engaged to regarding this because we think they are more flexible. It's easier for the coach to engage the athletes and to provide him then a way of actions in order to protect the environment. Additionally, the weather condition this summer in Greece, I think it was ringing bell to everybody that we must do something about it. So I think the timing, unfortunately, the timing is the correct time to do that. But for my part, our part is going to take place through the coaches to the athletes because we don't have the benefit of ambassador and ambassador.
Okay, thank you. Rotella, you in the School of the Sport also have, let's say, alums or students, foreign athletes that follow management courses and so on. So what do you think about taking into account you are a school of training also for this kind of field? The role of the training of these people that are like ambassadors that have to pass message, or what is your relation with this kind of category in your School of Sport?
I believe in education, of course. I don't forget that before being responsible for the school sport, I was the head of international relations and relations with the organizing committees for the Olympic Games. So in my career, I have gone through 6 editions of the Olympic Games, and I have since Torino 2006 up to Rio. And I have seen the sustainability movement growing always more and more and more. So I look at the role of athletes. Let's not forget that, and then I will go to the school of sport, but let's not forget that the sports section has produces 1 to 2% of greenhouse gas emissions. So sport is a section that should be also aware of the importance of sustainability, especially if we talk about events. So athletes as ambassadors have been enrolled by IOC first, and we have one of our athletes, which is Elsin Santana, Nicolò Di Tullio, who's a student and an expert about sustainability, but Novak Djokovic, for example, is involved also into his own movement for sustainability. So the athletes, I believe, are those who reach the younger generations, as you were saying before. So we must not forget that the role of athletes is very important. But the other stakeholders are the organizations. So when we come to organization, for example, Sport and Salute is responsible for the Foro Italico area, which is probably the biggest Olympic park in Europe. And I was talking about sustainability just the other day with the people who are responsible for the Olympic Stadium and the main facilities who host the international events like the Italian tennis tournament or the Golden Girl Athletics. So many international events are in Foro Italico area, which is a Sport Salute property. So sustainability practices are important, and we have a good team of athletes who have been in career, like syndicating, like me, who are constantly enrolled into spreading messages, especially concerning good practices into.
Thank you. Please,
Yes.
And now I'm thinking it's a brainstorming.
Yes.
Maybe it's important to have a cooperation between us and to use also the athletes from other countries to be ambassador to my country, for example, that we don't have so many athletes with the children. So maybe altogether can support this project regarding ambassadors, affluence ambassadors.
Yeah, nice idea. I think that also like is one of his aim to facilitate the coordination of different federations. You want to ask?
I want to add that as a school of sport, of course, we are constantly engaging into promoting webinars and seminars about sustainability sport, especially using our expertise as the sport executive. And we are stakeholders because we are inside, we are organization, let's say. So we've talked about athletes, we talked about sport facilities, we've talked about but also supporters, because supporters are, there is a Nielsen study which says that almost 80% of the supporters who have been, they said 3% of supporters who have been interviewed has said that they are available to spend more money in investing into more sustainable products rather than plastic bottles, for example. So people is also sustainability, as Anna was saying, is not expensive probably, not so much as it used to be, because it used to be at the very beginning. Now it's like nature food. Now nature food is more accessible to everybody. In the very beginning, it was very expensive, so we could not buy nature food. So we must start thinking that sustainability is in our daily practices today.
Okay, thank you. In the meanwhile, welcome to Branco. Thank you to ask you. Sorry with that told that you were participating in the this panel. So let's keep to the second topic. We can start discussing about the role of athletes in this panel, the future of sustainability in your organization. So the second topic that I would like to discuss or to ask to know your opinion about is the relation with the sponsor and commercial partner. If I discuss with some international federation or with some football clubs and so on, every time, everywhere I hear, oh, we are very interested in trying to think how to join our commercial partner together with us in sustainability action in order to, let's say, have the effort together in common project. Does exist this, let's say, cooperation, relation before, already, as mentioned, one of the partners, but I would like to know if it exists, if you have some experience, or if it doesn't exist, if you retain that it could be a good opportunity in terms of future initiative of sustainability between transport, your federation, your partner, or additional, let's say, commercial companies that are not currently your partner, but that would be interested in this kind of initiative.
Well, objectively, we are playing sport.
Yes.
Yeah, so we are playing sport. And this is our opportunity to go to sponsors with something what we have, that we are, we want to have a clean competition in area, clean nature, and it is a very easy one. We are going, let's say, for the petrol companies and some electricity companies also, to have a connection and to say if you join us, it's our common will to save the nation. This bundle the risk. But we are not a sport with a big, let's say, big budget, big money, so it's not easy. Much more interested in tennis, football, and the other, let's say, religious sport. So not easy, but of course, we are trying with this, and sometimes we are successful, sometimes not.
Okay, thank you. Anna, what about this topic in Italian Federation? You are having some experience, you are thinking to this, or?
Yes, we are approaching right now in environmental sustainability topic also with our sponsor, and it's something quite new for the Federation in terms of involving in sponsor in this kind of sponsorship, but it's quite mandatory because like sport federation, we have to demonstrate also our effort in environmental sustainability. So we are moving for steps in this way.
Andrea, you mentioned before one sponsor. Please, can you remind us briefly what is your initiative? Yeah, so then we will continue the same rate. So maybe we will intensive a little bit more this sustainability part, especially connected to the clean waters and water regulation. We organize, I think, for already 15 years, one ecological, recreational ecological series of recreational events. We call them Water Forever. And with this kind of series of events, we want to like educate people in each kind of what kind of conditions are Slovenian rivers, so that people are aware during the paddling or banks, it's like a lot of garbage on the banks, what is the quality of the water and so on. And we already invited a few times our sponsors to taking part of these kind of events, but actually they are not came many times. That's for sure like future goal as well. And we are just now in the process to prepare a new strategy of marketing for Slovenian Federation for the next 4 years. And the sustainability is the main goal, so that we would like to put in our strategy how to address all our new partners or existing partners with this ecology goals. So because we think that more and more companies are really aware about that, and so that we thought that that with this kind of strategy, maybe we have more chance to get some new sponsors, because we would like to show that we can work together on this part.
You want something about green energy?
No, I fully agree with Andrea.
Okay.
Because the strategic plan is an issue for everybody. And the good part is that we see around sponsoring being focused on this area. So maybe we will have a step in this direction.
Okay. We have spoken about athletes, we have spoken about sponsors, so there are, let's say, two specific, let's say, stakeholders probably of you. In your opinion, in order to have the possibility to continue to pursue, let's say, this way that you are fostering, that you are following with sustainability, with that and so on, what are, in your opinion, the main important stakeholders from which you would like to receive, let's say, help, stimulation, gratification? I mean, you have different stakeholders, you interact with the municipalities, with the regional governments, with the international federation, and so on. What external stakeholders that, in your view, are important to continue on this path? Yeah.
From my point of view, the first and the most important thing that National Canoe Federation is the connected stakeholder, and we are usually following their direction because of their experience and because they are the authority. So if ICF has the directions and all its actions has to do also with this topic, then will be encouraging also the National Federation of only us to introduce and to engage on these actions for protecting the environment. Next, from my point of view, is the Minister of Sport, the Greek one. I don't know my case. Because he can influence publicity, also federations and clubs. So we are at a chain, and this local chain can help most, at least the national level. Also, I think everybody that can be involved in the daily project with any. I don't know exactly if I'm going to be the person that bringing the food, but everybody could be involved, knowing exactly what we're doing, what the purpose, and when we be ready to introduce the tools, to be flexible and easy to be used also from clients in order to be more convenient for them and to implement it easily.
Yes, so I agree with Georgia, but in my opinion, one of the most important stakeholders are the schools. So the public schools, because
Public school.
yes, because starting from a very little age, so primary school, since they have very young students that can be educated at these topics, and they can have a result also on our federation. So that's why we are developing right for school. We are developing a new project for schools involving also different stakeholders, involving canoe and kayak with the recycled materials. And this will be part of that project. And we are watching, we are involving like 1,000 schools in 100 schools in Italy, all around Italy. And so I think that it is very important to involve this
You
young
think school
generation.
only on young, or you are thinking that we ask also to the taking into account we have a school here, even if for
Yeah,
management,
so
or also on the level of Donatem's, also creating manager that have some certain skills to
Yes,
help
for
your organization.
yeah, for sure it is important to create this kind of manager and give the right information about management and environmental sustainability and so on. But if we want to have this real cultural change because I would like to see real action, and so to me it's very important to do action in very young age. So starting from primary school up to high-level university. But if you don't start from basis of this mindset, I think that we will always struggle with this topic. That means something we are really different to have something.
Ramco International Federation School Ministry, you agree with what has been said by Anna and Georgia? You have some other stakeholders that are important for Operation Federation?
No, I agree with this, but it's a hard job, and we have to work a lot on it.
Yeah. Andrei, you agree with this? You want to mention someone else?
In Ljubljana, we need to follow, if we organize events which are supported by the city, we need to follow policy, environmental policy. Otherwise, you cannot be supported by financially. So that Ljubljana, like years ago already,
So the city of
Ljubljana, so that they already have this policy of organizing sustainability events, so that we as organizers who are financially supported by the city needs to follow the criteria which the city made. So I think that's maybe one of the examples. How maybe also the sport organization hires the authority needs some kind of criteria what needs to fulfill if they want to organize events.
On this topic, we have to take into account with here in Metkovic, I mean, not big, but also not small city in Croatia. How has been your interaction with the municipality? You have found cooperation, collaboration, they have helped you in the reach and focus on some sustainability issue. We know how municipality manage mobility, manage waste, the city, and so on. So how has been this integration? We don't have a representative of municipality of Metkovic connected with this.
Yeah, no, they're very busy. But anyway, we started this cooperation, let's say, a long time ago, because River Merritt and this, we call it Golden Valley, is fantastic in winter time for winter preparations. They also have, they have a good rowing club, but they don't have conditions for organizations or any official competition in rowing sport. So we made a cooperation first with the club, then with the city, and we agreed to candidate for the first of the European Championships. What is good in, let's say, small cities, such a big event is something that everybody is proud of. So we started with the European Championship in the city that we came with it, and finally it was very well organized. They gave us full support. And because of this organization, we finally done this biggest event. So today we have 46 countries and more than 900 competitors in total, more than 1,000 spectators viewing athletes and teams. So we feel all around 1,040 kilometer cycle. So that is a good, and it's good for, let's say, a good presentation of the city and the possibility of installing to make longer tourism season in this part of operation.
Okay. Now tell me, you want that something you are a stakeholder of sport, in addition you are a school training manager. So we have discussed about this.
I practice both the sports world and now the governing bodies, I would say, because Sport e Salute is the company, state company, which is after sport and health. So health means correct lifestyles, and sustainability, of course, is part of correct lifestyle. So when Georgia talks about the ministry, I understand that an action is needed to move at a more higher level, which is the governing bodies, so to spread out to all stakeholders, which means in schools, means athletes, means national federations. From my experience, when I was in the sports world in the International Olympic Committee, of course, we had the International Olympic Committee, which is today deeply engaged into sustainability. So just to say that the IOC headquarters is the #1 building in the world. Of course, it lots of money and lots of investment about sustainability. So everything is completely inside the building. But you know, the United Nations and development goals have not been just a nice, colorful square that you put into presentation. So it's put into action and to apply. As Ban Ki-moon said, that there is no plan B because we don't have a plan B. So we must speed up the procedures. And from school of sport, I would say that a few years ago, and this is something that we have to think about, I've tried to introduce the figure of sustainability into my management courses, the figure of the sustainability manager inside the federations, and we failed because we had very few applicants. So this is something we should reflect upon. So what the awareness raising campaigns, of which we will talk about in a while with our DECA project, should be a real awareness raising campaign, because we are all today in a wide community, not just us. So still the path is very long, but I think we are in a good direction. So we must keep trying.
Thank you all. So the last 10 minutes, probably the last round of questions, is the following. If today we are here, we are also thanks to that logo of the European Commission, because we are funded by Erasmus+. So starting from Ranko, that I need to you have the mic in your hands. What is, in your opinion, the role of public funds or projects like DEC and like a funding program like Erasmus that has a specific funding line on sustainability and sport in terms of your future initiatives? So how you have felt this initiative of DEC in terms of stimulating this discussion and these topics, and how could be the role in the future if you think that it will continue, even if naturally you have a lot of things to do, we know, and if you will have the chance also to participate again in this kind of missions.
I think we are on the good way. It's just the projects, this is what we are doing now. So we are sharing our opinion, we are sharing our experience in the past. Let's say, we spoke about organization of the championships in each country, how we are doing with them, taking the new ideas from the others, and then we are coming to the, let's say, that's our common target. So this is what we have more experience and more, let's say, more situations in the other countries what they're doing. So it's good to share with the others.
And then,
the initiative to be partner in this project came to us a great moment because we were already on the way to organize our European Championship, which was organized this year in the really sustainability way. And when we got this invitation, so it was really nice for us, so that we can just join this work together with our partners. And I think that that's the way where we plan to go in the future. So that then, like I told you, that we start with this recreation environment action like 15 years ago, so that we start to be aware about the waters, our environment, and so on. So this is one of our, it's part of our way of action in our federation, so that we just want to make more focus on it. And I think that in the future, for sure, we will probably just try to raise our awareness about this.
okay, good to know. We are noting for future involvement.
And just to conclude, I think that funds, public funds are really important for this kind of topics, not only for all the things that we said, but also because we have to account about the results. So this is very important because the European Commission is asking to account our result, and so we have to take consideration on this part. So we have to use these funds, we have to do, but we have also to tell to the people, to the European Commission in this case, but we have to do a big effort to communicate and to share with the people also the results, because we can do the best, we can do wonderful things, but if we don't communicate, it's like if we did nothing. So it is important, this partnership, because I think that is really a copy of reality. So we are for national federation of one of the minor sports, so we are not football, but we are doing something really connected to the reality of our sports. And we have very important university, Sport and Salute, that is our education partner. So it's, I'm really proud of this project because it's something that with a lot of difficult, because it's, I think it's normal, but we are doing something real, and we are counting, and we are telling to the audience what we are, and also we are telling to the Europe, so we have to do this. So we don't remember continuous reporting. So this is my main point.
And European Union should be proactive. So this is a proactive project, let's say. And to support these kinds of projects, and also to support the legacy of things, because okay, we were going to finish the next project and we are going to have some results and okay, then feedback, all these things. I think that the European Union should continue funding of this project, and to see the day after tomorrow what the impact is and to develop more projects about the environment. So yes, the support of the European Union is very, very important, and maybe it should be more intense.
So, thank you very much to everyone. We are quite in time. I think 3 minutes before the end plan, so I will close here the second panel. Thank you again for of our panelists. I will give the last words to our lead applicant. Probably you have already done a very nice closure of this conference with your speech about the project, but please,
No,
you
just
feel free to close the
just
conference.
thanks all the partners. So we are aware that it is not easy to be part of this project because it's the first time for everybody, also for us as the leader of a European project. And I suggest to implement something. Just one, yes, no. And just suggest to, if we have doubts or something to ask, don't hesitate to contact us, me and also Matteo that is helping us from some time of visa. And I hope for the next conference that will be the final conference, we can, I hope we will close this project with this big result that we in this first part. And so the project will end in last year with the World Championship in Milan. So another conference will be set for the end of August last year. So also online conference. So see you next year. Donatella.
Yes, the project is 30 months long, and we've entered the second phase of the project. So by today we close, let's say, the first phase. We have talked a lot about the awareness raising now today, and I think it's more important now to say that in this second phase, most of our time will be given to awareness raising. So we will do lots of webinars and on the environment, and also on how to use our sustainability rating tool, on how to use our deliverables. So I'm positive that today we've been discussing more between us, probably, but in the coming months we will spread our results, and we will just look out of the window and see other people and meet other people and tell them what we are doing. So I'm positive, and mine is also welcome to the Kayak community to come and participate to our online initiatives now, because it's an added value for our canoe kayak and sport community. Thank you very much.
Now everyone will have opening ceremony.
Of course, we are invited for the opening ceremony and enjoy your time here in Metkovic.
Thank you.
You are not here.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, not such a sunny day like we are used to.
Thank you. Okay.
So after